Hi.
Hello, was this Jayme the Atombomb Hinshaw?
Yeah, give me a second. Let me get this thing on. So I can hear you and you can hear me. Alright, can you hear me?
I understand. You're probably in a loud place right now, aren't you?
No, I'm actually at my house, but, it's always like the audio, it always kind of gets messed up if I don't have headphones, so.
Understood. I mean, I always wear headphones when it comes down to listening to music or podcasts. I mean, I just try to... I mean, it's not that I avoid any public contact or anything, it's just that I want to find an easy way to listen to my stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, I know that you got a lot of things to do. I know that you got fight plans and flight plans to get out of the way in the next 2 weeks. But before I even get started, asking you about all that, I just have to ask. I know that you train out at Fit NHB in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which, of course, I'll talk later about, asking you about what's it like to train over there. But to be honest, where did you originally grow up at? And what was it like, getting into combat sports from where you grew up?
I actually was born and raised here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Was raised in the South Valley. And whenever I got into fighting, fighting is just a way of life here in New Mexico, if you've ever really been down here. But whenever I was younger, unfortunately, I was kind of bounced around between parents and aunties and stuff like that. So I didn't really have a chance to be in sports or get into anything as a child. I just fought just for fun or because I had to. So whenever I got older, that's actually after I was, I think, 20? Is whenever I actually kind of went to the gym and everything like that. I think I was over 21 before I even started to train. So it kind of just came out of nowhere.
I mean, basically, when you started mixed martial arts, you just felt like, if it keeps me off the streets and it makes me a lot of money, I'm going to be able to do it, right?
No, actually, it wasn't even like that. My daughter, I started taking care of her when she was 3 years old, because I don't have children of my own. And then she had wanted to do the Fit Kids program there at FitHB with her cousin, and she tried it out and she really enjoyed it. So she started to go there and work out, and she wanted me to do it with her, work out with her to support her and everything. So, and I kind of blew up. I got to I think 140 pounds, which I'm not used to. I've always been a small framed girl, 105 pounds, 110 pounds or 90 pounds. You know what I mean? So my weight kind of got up there whenever I started taking care of her. So I was like, well, I could go work out. I could, lose a couple pounds, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I just kind of went in there not even expecting to be a fighter. A couple months in, they had an amateur boxing, a little boxing event there actually that they held at FinHB. And I just...
Tough Woman or Foxy Boxing or anything like that?
No, it's just a local little... smoker that they do, and every month they would do it, or every couple months they would, my coach would have a little section, little event for amateur boxers and stuff like that, so that we could at least compete, you know what I mean, especially some of the people that aren't able to get into some of the other boxing tournaments that actually cost a lot of money and everything. It's for just everyone to be able to, like I said, compete and just have fun. So like I said, I was only training a few months, and I wanted to fight, and they were all like, okay. let's put you up against this girl. She just barely came back into training because she had a baby. So I was sitting there trying to chug water because she had outweighed me over 20 pounds. But I still took the fight. That one I ended up losing, unfortunately, but it was an experience. Like I said, fighting to me is nothing new. I've done it my whole life. You know what I mean? Just not with a referee and gloves. So it's more safer now, I think, than it was whenever I was younger. So yeah, it just kind of more or less came from there. Didn't really care for boxing. Kind of got nervous whenever I was boxing. I don't know if it's because I could just only use my hands. But yeah, I did like 3 amateur boxing, and then I was like, nope, I don't want to do that. I just continued training. A little bit down the road, I decided to try MMA. And then once I tried MMA, I loved it. Like, I didn't get nervous whenever I got excited right before I went out there, and I loved the feeling just being in the cage and being able to just go out there and hit someone and people cheer me on and not go to jail for it.
Right. So basically it was a way for you, because in a way I know that you said you grew up a little crazy, but in a way it would basically be like a street fight, only you get recognized for it.
Well, yeah, not really recognized, because I'm not in this sport to become famous and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm just in here because I like it. So, yeah.
Understood. So, when you got into MMA, I mean, did you take any amateur fights, or did you just go straight into King of the Cage and take up a few pro fights?
I went amateur. I think 3-1, I believe. Mm-hmm. I went and I would finish the girls in the first round, and then I took a fight at 115, my last amateur fight. It was a short notice call. I had fought on Halloween in El Paso, and then whenever I came back into town, my coach was all like, you won't have to cut weight, do you want to go and fight at 115 here this weekend? And so I was like, yeah, let's do it, because I didn't get hurt. I choked out the girl, I think, in 30 seconds. So I was like, yeah, let's go and do it, you know what I mean? It was my first fight. I didn't think of nothing about that, because I'm afraid of heights. So I just was excited for a fight. So I was like, yeah, let's take it. And then my husband, he's like, you're going to have to fly out for that. And I was like, oh, gosh. So I was so nervous for the flight. But as soon as I got on there and got up in the air, I was like, oh, this is nothing. I ended up going over there against Lindsay. I forget her name. Sorry. But
let me go ahead and check. It was... I mean, because you said you fought in the amateur ranks, it was against Lindsay Williams, right? For the Resurrection Alliance? Yeah, it was Wonder Woman or whatever. Yeah, whenever I had fought her, she was finishing girls like me, you know what I mean, right away, and she wouldn't take it to the 3rd round. And I ended up losing that fight, but I ended up standing my ground and going the whole distance. And for me, that was my first time going the distance in a fight. Same with her. And it was a loss, but in my eyes, I think it wasn't really, because I did come up in a way I wasn't prepared for that and everything. And for someone that's that big, cutting weight and stuff like that, it's finishing girls at her weight class, and she couldn't finish me at a lower weight class, you know what I mean? And I stepped up to her weight, so I don't feel that one really was a loss to me. It hurt my pride a little bit, you know what I mean? But what doesn't? Every time you lose it, it kind of hurts a little bit. It sucks. But after that, I was kind of just sitting on the shelf because no one wanted to fight me. I actually had a girl that said that she would fight me a couple times and pulled out.
And then, like I said, I just couldn't get people to fight me because I was finishing girls so soon. So we just said, after I think it was 10 months inactive, my coach was all like, let's just turn pro. So we turned pro, and it was kind of a fast pace, you know what I mean? I was fighting a lot, and then I got injured, and then that's kind of made me had to take a step back and then try to get back into the game. And then my opponents, I got injured, they got injured, and fights got pulled out. So I've kind of been a little bit inactive for about a little bit over a year. So it's exciting to be able to get back into the cage.
I see. Now, when it comes to your overall career, 3 of your 4 amateur fights, obviously the 3 wins via submission, and your entire professional career up to this point has been almost exclusively with King of the Cage. Now, I just have to ask, when it comes down to that promotion, they've recently celebrated their 20th anniversary back in October because their first event was back on Halloween 1999, but when you think of the King of the Cage, Yellow and Black Steel, when you think of fighting in that promotion, what comes to mind?
Like I said, I've only fought for them except for my, when I went to 115. So that's the promotion that I've actually stayed with. The staff over there, I know a lot of them. They treat me very well. And I did get, I was lucky enough to be able to get a contract with them. It was a great stepping stone for me to, take off. So I'm very grateful for King of the Cage and all the opportunities and everything that they have given me.
I see. Now, when it comes to your professional career up to this point, because if I remember correctly, it's 4-2, right? Your pro record is 4-2?
4-3.
Oh, my apologies.
I think.
Yeah, it's actually, you're right. It's 4-3, but you're currently riding a 3-fight winning streak when it comes to fighting in the King of the Cage Steel. But you started your career off 1-3, losing to Alicia Zapatella by Kill Her Be Nguyen and Cassie Robb, and defeating Melissa Sophia Karagiannis. I mean, what was it like starting your career off in that form? I mean, did you feel like you were lost without direction?
No. I believe my inexperience, my first fight, I started stuffing her shots, everything like in the 3rd round, and I think it took me a little bit too long to warm up in that fight, and if I would have made that correction a little bit earlier on in the fight, I think I could have won that fight. And because I went out there, my first or second punch, that straight 2 dropped her, and it shocked me because that was the first time I've ever dropped anyone, with a punch and not meaning to. And I just kind of stood there oh shoot, and then her as a wrestler, she grabbed my feet and she just took me down, and she kept doing that, and I can't knock her for that. She used her skills and what she was good at to get the win. Like I said, in the 3rd round, for her being such a skilled wrestler, and she made it to almost the Olympics or something like that. So I know she was a legit wrestler, and she's still active in that. And for me to be in the 3rd round, to be able to stuff her shots, and me not being an athlete at all and not growing up doing nothing and just barely getting into the sport, I think I did pretty good. So, yeah, that kind of sucked because it was my birthday the day after. So, yeah, I didn't really get to celebrate. But, yeah, and then with B Nguyen, that, like I said, is my inexperience. she won split decision, so that she barely won that the first fight, and that was because I pulled and jumped to my guard and went to my back, and I was very comfortable on my back end, and that in the judges' eyes it's not a jiu-jitsu tournament. It's not good. So yeah, I learned to, like, just because I'm comfortable there don't mean I should be there.
Right,
so yeah. Yeah, then the one with Cassie Robb, I think I was winning that fight. I sat there, but before that fight camp, I didn't take it seriously. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be as a fighter. I wasn't running. I came in the heaviest I did that week. Like I usually, fight week, I'd come in at 113, 112. That fight, I actually didn't. I was eating crappy and everything. That Monday I weighed in at 121. So I had like over 15 pounds to lose within 5 days. So that kind of took a toll on my body. That's my worst weight cut ever. But I wasn't going to let that show or tell anyone or anything like that. I was like, we're here and I want to fight. And then she kept getting, she likes to grab that arm. So, she kept trying to arm bar me, and it's not that smart of an idea to grab someone over your waist and slam them more than 3 times if you don't have the cardio. So yeah, and in that fight, like I said, I think I was doing great, but I got in my own head and I panicked and I was like, I can't breathe, and I gave up on myself, and that I was very disappointed in myself and my performance in that. And after that, I was like, I never want to feel like that again. So I worked on my cardio. I worked on taking it serious and everything like that. Like, just because of her record, it's kind of shitty of me, but I kind of underestimated her and everything like that, and I just slacked and I took it too easy, and I shouldn't have. I should respect all my opponents and, you know what I mean, train as hard as I can. And that fight, I don't know what happened. I guess my head got real big or something. I don't even know, but like I said, I didn't do my job as a fighter and I lost that. And like I said, after that, I had my head in my ass and I picked it out. And after that, you could tell with my fighting, that was a wake-up call for me to take it serious.
Mm-hmm. And in a way, when it comes down to you starting off 1-3, I mean, you shouldn't have looked at those 3 losses as just, I fucked up, I basically didn't come in the right way, I didn't come in with the right preparation. In a way, when it comes down to losses, it's not, I lost and that's it. You should have probably you took those obviously as learning lessons, because you don't lose, you live and you learn. And you learn pretty damn well going on this current 3-fight winning streak and winning the King of the Cage Atomweight Championship in the process.
Yeah.
I mean, so...
Yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead and answer.
Yeah, like I said, after that, I did learn a lot from that. Like I said, it was a wake-up call, and like I said, I believe I've learned my lesson somewhat. Like, we always, in this sport, we're always learning and everything like that. So, yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good for myself right now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're doing pretty damn good, considering the fact that you're riding a 3-fight winning streak. I mean, still, when it comes to this, you avenged your loss to Bai Nguyen. You avenged you got a second win over Melissa Sofia Karagiannis, and you defeated Kelly Villarino via decision. And to be honest, I mean, I just find it weird that, when it comes to your wins, it's mostly via submission. Mostly. Your 3 of your 4 professional wins are via submission, but it was that win against Villarino that pretty much launched you into title contention.
Yes, it was. Like I said, I believed I deserved a title shot, but I was coming off of a loss, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna sit there and ask for it. I gotta work for it, and I gotta put on a great performance to be able to ask for that title. And yeah, I went out there, and that's what I did. I actually wasn't. Like, I don't really, there's a lot of people, they say they have certain game plans. Once I heard her interview, right before we walked out, I heard her talking about my footwork and my stand-up wasn't all that great, and that she believes that that's where she was gonna, like, succeed and be good at, you know what I mean? That was gonna be her area, and she's all like, you know, I think my striking's better and all this stuff. So that kind of gave me motivation to go in there. And I'm all like, okay, I'm not even going to try to take it to the ground on this. I'm going to beat you at your own game. I'm going to go there, strike with you, and show you that I'm better and I deserve this title shot. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. I outstruck her and unanimous decision, and I won, and it felt great.
Yeah, in a way, she basically, I mean, considering the fact that she was 0-1 at the time, in a way, she was talking shit about how she was going to tell you what she was going to do to you. Instead, you've shown her what she was going to do to her.
Yeah, well, I respect Kelly Villarino. Like, she's awesome person. She hits pretty hard. She actually gave me a pretty good scar. Like, she busted me open in that fight. I still have a scar under my eyebrow from her. 'Cause she did, if you look her up in her amateur, I think she did knock out a girl or a TKO or something. So, she was legit. Like, her striking was legit. I wish I could see her back in the cage. But yeah, at the point, like, right before we're fighting, I'm not trying to make friends or anything. We're in there. We're supposed to be fighting, so I'm not going to be all buddy-buddy and hugging and, oh, hi, girl, or whatever. You know what I mean? After the fight, if I like you, respect me, whatever, I respect you. We can talk or we could be cool with each other. But before that, I'm not going to be all like, yeah, hey, best friend.
Yeah, you're basically not here to make friends. You're here to break hopes, pretty much.
Yeah.
I see. Now, when it comes to your next fight, I mean, obviously, when it comes to a few of the fights on your record, By Nguyen, Melissa Karagiannis, and Casey Robb, and Alicia Zappatella, what am I saying? Basically, the main thing they got ahead for them is the fact that they all fought in Asia, with Karagiannis, Robb, and Zappatella all fighting in the RIZIN Fighting Federation. Zappatella sharing a common opponent with your next opponent, Kanna Asakura, who most of her fights, aside from a few most of her fights have taken place in the RIZIN ring, and this one's going to be in the Bellator cage under the RIZIN rule set, which means 12-6 elbows, soccer kicks, knees to the head of the ground opponent, all that stuff. I mean, are you prepared for that type of rule set? And even though Kanna Asakura has a 15-4 record, I mean, are you prepared for the challenge that she might bring?
Yes, I'm actually very excited for the rules. It reminds me more like a street fight, so I'm excited for that. I kind of wish sometimes that here some of the things the rules would be that way, but you know, you can't always have that. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited for the rules. To be able to do, like, you know, soccer kicks and knees and elbows and all that. But yeah, she's a very skilled fighter. She has, like, all the way, she's a mixed martial artist all the way around. I respect her and everything like that. She does have the, what would you say, experience and stuff on me, but I don't.
Yeah, she basically has more experience fighting in a ring and against better competition.
Yeah, but that doesn't scare me. You know what I mean? I'm in there. I'm there to do a job. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to win and put on a great performance. You know what I mean? It hasn't stopped me before. I've sat there and I've gone up against, most of my opponents have the experience and everything on me. They've been athletes or they've been in sports since they were kids. And unfortunately, I was never able to do that. And I was kind of more or less into the drugs and the partying and drinking whenever I was younger. So, yeah, they have that on me, but it hasn't stopped me yet, and it doesn't seem like it's affected anything. I think the pressure is more on her and not on me, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm just going to go out there and have fun and enjoy it. That's what I'm waiting for.
Understood. And when it comes to this being your first trip, you know, overseas, because you're going to be fighting in the Saitama Prefecture, which is just a stone's throw from Tokyo. I don't see why they say it's Tokyo for marketing purposes, but still, considering the fact that it's going to be your first time overseas, and you're going to be fighting in front of an entirely different crowd than what you're used to with the King of the Cage still, I mean, are you prepared for that type of not so raucous but still kind of scenic environment?
Yeah. Like I said, I've told people before, like, it's weird. Whenever I'm going out to the cage, I can't hear the crowd, like, unless they're, like, chanting a certain, like, thing. And I don't hear the music, like, my walkout music or anything like that. I, like, kind of get in a zone, and I, like, block that out. So for them to be quiet, I know that they're very quiet while we are fighting. So that, I don't think it's gonna make a difference. Like, I don't need all that background noise anyway because I block it out whenever I fight. So I don't think that's gonna affect me or be a issue.
Understood. Now, I mentioned earlier that you fight out of the Fit NHB training camp, which is 1010 Candelaria Road, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And you fight alongside a pretty peculiar cast of characters. Felony Charles Bennett, the Dirty Bird Tim Means, Tyler the Beast East, Cody Osweiler, and pretty much a virtual who's who of fighters. Not basically
Carlos Condit.
Oh, right. The natural born killer Carlos Condit. I mean, basically, in a way, the only people that rival y'all as far as, you know, the amount of talent that come through y'all doors is Jackson Winklejohn down the road. But in a way, when it comes to fighting in that environment, Fit NHB with a bunch of talent and Charles Bennett, I mean, what type of motivation do you normally get from fighting out of that training camp?
I've actually never personally trained and was there when Charles Bennett, Felony, or whatever you want to call him, I never trained there when he was there, so never got that vibe. I did when Cody East and certain people were there. Tim Means is still there. But I don't know, I think over there at Fit, it's not as big. We're more of small knit family. We're more close together, more hands on. I like the vibe and everything that I get from Fit HB. It doesn't really matter about the people or the big names, whatever people say that. They're just fighters. They're just people just like me and you, so I don't get all fangirl. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I just go in there and I work. Even like a lot of people, there's a lot of people that you guys don't know that help me out through my fight camps and everything. That's helped prepare me. So yeah, it's just because they have a big name doesn't mean anything. Like I said, Serena, she sat there and busted her butt, and she didn't even have one MMA fight under her belt, and she was sitting there helping me train for being a win, and she helped prepare me tremendously, like I said. And it's just like a little names like that don't really get people never really talk about that, but because of people like them and my training partners is where we are today, like, helps us get there. You know what I mean? Like, I could sit there and I could train by myself all the time, but if I don't have my training partners and my coaches, I'm not going to get anywhere. You know what I mean? I'm just going to plateau or stay where I'm at. So they help me grow and become the fighter I am today. Like, even all my training partners that I've trained with, that's helped me out, even if you just sat there and given me courage of like encouraging advice and everything. You know what I mean? I appreciate that, and that's helped mold me into the fighter and the person I am today. So for everyone that's helped me in the past and in the future and in the present, you know, I appreciate that.
I see. And when it comes to this particular fight, you're going to have with Kanna Asakura on December the 29th, because, of course, this is a part of the Bellator Japan, Bellator 237 card, and unfortunately, for most of the North American audience, even though we're an hour behind schedule between time zones, I'm in the Central Time Zone, you're in the Mountain Time Zone, but either way, when your fight happens, it'll probably be 1 a.m. over there in Albuquerque. I mean, when it comes to this particular fight, are you kind of afraid that no one will notice your skills, or do you hope that people will take notice despite, you know, people trying to stay up even though they're dog-ass tired?
You know, my true fans and the people that support me will watch it. That's all I'm, you know, care about. You know, if it gets me noticed and stuff like that by the big names, great. If not, then it doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm not in this sport to become famous or anything. I just enjoy going in there and fighting. So as long as I get the opportunity to fight, it don't matter. Like I said, my skills, and if I keep working hard and showing it'll eventually be, people will see it. So.
I see. And that would probably disqualify me from asking, you know, if you were to win this fight, would you automatically vote for a big name offer like in Bellator or in the UFC? But in a way, considering the fact that you're still the king of the Cage Atomweight Champion, regardless of the result of this fight, I mean, do you hope to defend that belt as long as you are still the champion?
If the opportunity comes, I'll defend it again. Like, I don't mind. Like I said, I just want to fight. I want to be able to punch people in the face, and so I trusted my coach, which is also my manager, and you know what I mean? I'm going to trust in whatever they bring to me and what they think is best for me. So, yeah.
Understood. Now, I got a few questions to ask that might seem a little bit off the grid. First of all, when it comes down to, you know, your career outside of the cage or outside of the ring, I mean, what do you like to do for fun away from preparing for fights?
I'm kind of more or less a homebody. I like camping. I love to be able because we're always kind of on the go. I love to just be able to come home and chill and relax, sit down, spend time with the family and watch movies and stuff. That's kind of, I like my downtime.
Understood. Another question I would like to ask is when it comes to, you know, the fact that a lot of the television series Breaking Bad was taped there. I mean, do you think that most of the shit that comes off of that show, that I mean, do you think that most of the stuff that comes off of that show really gives the state of New Mexico a bad name, or, I mean, or do you think that, hey, we're the land of enchantment, it kind of blends in with the culture, huh?
I believe that any state or anything like that, you have a town or whatever, drugs is, is a problem. It's not just here in Albuquerque or just here in New Mexico. They just kind of want to expose that more or less, I guess. I don't know, maybe because of the crime rate, but I don't know. I don't think that it's a cool thing to sit there and advertise like, oh, like Breaking Bad is awesome. It's not awesome to be a low-life piece of shit or, a drug addict that sits there and does stuff like that. That's not cool. I've grown up around people like that. I was that person before. It's not cool. It's not something to be proud of. You know what I mean? Like I always say, a lot of these people and these fighters, they want to sit there, oh, I was a gangbanger, I did this, or I did that, and just sitting there bragging about like all this stuff or make up stories about their past. And it's like, I don't know, I'm ashamed of a lot of stuff that I've done or what I had to go through. It's not like I said, it's not nothing to be bragging about or be proud of and like, oh, I was this and that, ha ha ha, I'm so cool. No, it's not cool to do that, you know what I mean? It's cool to grow up and do something with your life, be a productive member in society, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And I mean, in a way, another question I want to ask is when it comes to your backup plan. I know you're basically a professional fighter, not by accident, but really by occupation. But if you weren't a professional fighter, if you wanted to try and do everything to take care of your family, what would have been your fallback plan? What would have been your plan B?
Honestly, like I was, before this, I've only had a few jobs, and that was like at McDonald's and like a cashier at like Dollar Tree and stuff like that, just to try to make ends meet. And I hated that. Like, yeah, so I don't know what I would have done. I would have had to just be a boring old person with a 9-to-5 job.
Understood. Another question I want to ask is, when it comes to fighter safety, there have recently been a lot of deaths as of late when it comes to people taking repeated blows to the head, or people basically having trouble cutting weight and then passing out and not getting back up. But if you had a chance to, if you were to have a chance to change the way that fighters would better take care of themselves, what would be the main thing you would do to make sure that, those things like fighter deaths are prevented?
I believe that you don't have to be sitting there sparring all the time, especially hard sparring. There's no point of it. I think we have a number basically on our chin. We can only take so many hard shots. I would much rather take those shots up in the cage or the ring than in practice, you know what I mean? Because practice that's what it is. It's practice. That's all it is. Just pretend fightings.
Understood. And
so they don't sit there and they don't always spar.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then, like, I think one championship, they have a great thing where it's basically where you're not really having to cut weight. Like, you have to be well hydrated the day that you weigh in to make sure that you're not cutting your weight, so it's healthier on the fighter. You know what I mean? It prevents, like you said, the kidneys shutting down, different things that loss of things and getting passed out. So I think that right there, just to be able to make sure that the people aren't over dehydrating themselves and depleting their bodies so much, and like less blows to the head outside of the cage or the ring, I think that would help a lot.
Mm-hmm. And if there was one thing that, you being a trained martial artist would probably give back to, you know, the people, people who basically think, oh, I'm down on my luck, I ain't got shit to do, this really ain't what I want. What would probably be the main thing you would tell somebody about martial arts to those who, need a better understanding, so to speak? What I'm trying to ask.
Well, martial arts, this sport, there's a lot of ups and downs. It's a very, emotional roller coaster as well. And I think, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry myself.
It's hard mentally to be a fighter. You have to be physically strong. Yes, that's part of it. But I think mostly as a fighter is to be mentally strong. You know what I mean? That's even in life. But this more so because there's so much ups and downs. Like you have a fight. There's not a fight. They pulled out injuries and just doubting yourself as well. And then just like I said, the highs and the lows are very, it's a lot. So, yeah, if you're looking to be a fighter, and stuff, just think that you're going to have to be mentally strong. Just because you have the muscles does not mean that you're going to have it all there, because if you don't have it mentally, you could break and you could be easily beat.
Understood. And again, I apologize for the background noise on my end. It's not really easy to do these interviews when you got family, when you're basically living with your parents.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, I understand. Now, I just got 2 more questions to ask. First of all, how can people get in contact with you, and do you have any shout-outs not only to your Fit and HB family, but to your fans as well?
Yeah, you could catch me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. My Instagram is mostly where I'm at Hinshaw J. I want to shout out my family, my daughter. She's the reason why I'm here today. If it wasn't for her, I probably would have never stepped into the gym, and I would have had the opportunity to be a fighter, so kudos to her. My husband, he's my number one supporter. He's always encouraging me, and whenever I'm mentally broke, he helps me, so yeah, I love him for that. My coaches over there, my teammates, everything like that, my sponsors, Jerky by Art, Maverick, New Mexico, Santa Barbara, Massage Cream. We have being present by Body Care, Java Joe's.
And just to be clear, all of these are Albuquerque-based establishments, right?
Yes. And there's a few more right now. I need more coffee and more food, so my brain's not firing so well. So I'm so sorry to my sponsors and my supporters.
I know that
if I forgot you.
It's okay, Miss Hinshaw. I know that when it comes to being a fighter, those sponsors matter, because just think about it. If you get into the line, if you do end up getting those big name contracts, be it wherever you want to go, hell, you could even fight for RIZIN. But if you do get those big time local sponsors, just imagine how big your spotlight will get. Just imagine how big your star will grow, regardless of if you actually care about stardom.
Yeah. Dang it, I totally lost track of what I was going to say.
Understood. But
no, without my sponsors and the fans, we wouldn't be here today. So, I greatly appreciate them at all, because, like I said, if it wasn't for people, the fans wanting to see us, there wouldn't be there wouldn't be that platform for us to be able to do it. So I appreciate everyone, even the people that boo me. You know what I mean? As long as they're sitting there watching, it helps me, and it still gives me the opportunity to be able to do what I love. So, like, I want to, thank them and the organizations and everything like that that helps put it together for us to be able to sit there and fight.
Mm-hmm. And even though there is going to be a problem with people seeing your fight, because, of course, like I said, it's going to be a part of the Postlim card. It's going to be a part of the 8-fight Postliminary card, because Bellator, DAZN, and the Paramount Network only got room for a 6-fight main card. I do not know why. So your fight might get relegated to the Bellator app. But if there's anybody, for anybody that is actually going to go out of their way to actually see you fight Kanna Asakura, and for those who basically are wondering just who are you, what do you got to say to those people just to get them to realize, just who you are, and to show them that you ain't going to be no pushover against Kanna Asakura?
Just look me up and watch my most recent fight. You could kind of more or less see what I'm about, and if you want to see more, just continue to follow my career.
Understood. Again, that would be the best way to do it, because when it comes down to young prospects such as yourself, even though you are a world champion, it's best to, follow their careers, follow people's careers as they start up, because you never know where they might end up being some 5 or 10 years from now.
Yeah.
But other than that, Miss Hinshaw, thank you for the time. I know you got to get going and get some more coffee in your system.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do, so it's a little stressful. As soon as I get everything done, I could take a breath, and yeah.
Okay, I just want to go ahead and make this final plug. Even though it's possibly obvious that this fight might get relegated to the app, but still, if you want to check out Kanna Asakura versus Jayme Hinshaw, you can check it out possibly on the Bellator MMA app, which is going to play a part of the the post-show, my apologies, for the Bellator Japan Bellator 237 card. That card will take place on December 28th at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, 7 Pacific, on the Paramount Network and DAZN at DAZNUSA.com. At DAZN USA on all forms of social media, and DAZN.com, DAZN. But still, if you want to possibly check this fight out, you can do so by downloading the Bellator MMA app on your smart device of choice, iOS or Android, it doesn't matter. But other than that, Miss Hinshaw, may peace be with you, and I hope you bring a hell of a damn good war to Kanna Asakura, even though the fans, they're not really gonna have much respect for you, but once you end up, because it's like, when it comes down to you, because you're gonna be fighting in Japan, when it comes down to any fighter fighting in that country for the first time, especially under the RIZIN rule set, they don't give a damn how bad you fight. If you put up half the fucking effort to actually make an effort to fight, they'll love you and they'll want you back.
Yeah, that's actually one thing that I love about them. Because us Americans over here, we're kind of a-holes, you know what I mean? And they respect that. As long as you're respectful and you put on one hell of a show, win or lose, they respect that, and that's the way it should be, you know what I mean? Because we don't always, we're human, we have our bad days, you know what I mean? We can't be 100% in every time, and there has to be a loser. So yeah, I love that about them over there. So yeah, I'm excited to just be able to put on a great show for them.
Yeah, and to be honest, even though Charles Felony Bennett hasn't fought over there in like 3 years, and I hate to get a little sidetracked mentioning him again, his 6-second knockout that he had in the RIZIN Fighting Federation is still talked about as one of the most quickest knockouts in professional MMA history, and the Japanese fans ate that shit up. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine, I mean, you don't even have to finish Kanna Asakura. You could just go out and have a 3-round brawl with this woman, just throw kicks and elbows aplenty, and you could still be loved by the Japanese fans.
Yeah.
But other than that, Miss Hinshaw, I know you gotta get going. I'm sorry because I'm pretty much rambling off at this point. I mean, things have been crazy on my end, but still, you know, good luck when it comes to your fight on the 29th, and, you know, if you're willing to do a little post-fight interview, I wouldn't mind if it's okay with you, I wouldn't mind doing a post-fight interview with you.
Yeah, as long as it's not right after, because that is
I want to at least give you some time, like about 3 weeks after the fight, because I know that you're gonna probably be going through the recuperation process then.
I'll take probably a couple days, just depending on how the fight goes. If there's no injuries or anything, we'll just like take a week off and then come right back at it. But I will be preparing, like I am going to be doing the Albuquerque Comic Con. I'm going to be over there signing and taking pictures with fans January 17th through the 19th. So I'll be busy kind of doing that around that time and training as well. Trying to, hopefully there'll be another fight or whatever. Just got to be ready for if they call. So, yeah.
Understood. I mean, you didn't have to go through a booking agency just to get booked for that Comic Con, huh?
No. That's the joys of knowing people and being just a nice, genuine person. So. Understood. But again, if you're up for it, the offer is up there if you want to do a post-fight interview. I wouldn't mind doing so. My podcast partner, I would have to talk with him. He wouldn't mind doing so either. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Okay, but other than that, I know you gotta go. I'll talk to you later, and good luck on the 29th, Miss Hinshaw.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Goodbye.